Sometimes the strongest commitment you can make is the one that involves no one else, no audience, no applause, no accountability partner, just you. And that's exactly what today's question matters. Does training, when no one is watching, actually changing anything? Welcome, friends. I'm Fred. Here we talk about business investments, training, and real life, all from my personal perspective. This question was asked to me because I train alone most of the time. Even when I train martial arts, where other people are technically present, my daily training is still essentially solitary. I train every day, on weekends, on weekdays, early mornings, late afternoons, sometimes in empty gyms, like this day, for example, sometimes filming alone when no one else is there. And yes, it changes a lot. Not because training alone is better in a technical sense, but because it changed something internal. Let me explain. Training with other people is great. There's energy, there's social interaction, there's motivation, there's distraction. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. You talk a bit, you laugh, you rest longer, you observe others, you relax your mind. And none of that was wrong. But when you train alone, something different happens. The noise disappears. There is no conversation, no comparison, no external validation, no one watching. It's just you and the work. And if you train alone without music, then the level goes even higher. But there is a topic for another video. The point is, when no one is watching, there is no one and nowhere to hide. I've always been more drawn to individual sports. And to be honest, I didn't start for the best reasons. As a kid, I was extremely shy, very insecure, socially awkward. School sports in the 80s were brutal. If you made a mistake, everyone noticed, everyone commented, everyone laughed. Here in Brazil, soccer was bad enough. Volleyball was pure terror. In soccer, at least the ball stays on the ground, on the ground. You can manage. In volleyball, the ball was flying in your direction. People are watching. Every mistake is obvious. And unfortunately, I had a physical education teacher who loved volleyball. That didn't help. The irony is that I actually liked sports. The problem wasn't sports. The problem was my lack of social confidence. If I had developed better social skills back then, not caring about criticism, not internalizing judgment, team sports would probably have helped me overcome that shyness, but didn't. So I moved toward individual disciplines. Martial arts became the bridge. You train in a group, so there is still social interaction. But you don't depend on teammates. You don't pass the ball. You don't ruin someone else's play. You train yourself. Most of the time you are training, not fighting. That structure suit me. Now let's talk about the real question. Does it change something when no one is watching? Yes, a lot. And I can't fully explain it in technical terms. But I know it changes something deep inside. When you train alone, you make a commitment that is entirely internal. No one will complain if you skip. No one will call you out. No one will be disappointed. If you don't show up, life goes on. And that's exactly the point. Because when you do show up anyway, something happens. to your integrity. You reinforce a silent message to yourself. You do what I said I would do, even when no one is watching. That's powerful. And here's the paradox. If you are serious about commitments that only involve yourself, you will naturally become even more reliable in commitments that involve others. Integrity isn't about morality speeches. Integrity is about alignment between what you say, what you think, and what you actually do. Training alone forces that alignment. And this idea applies far beyond training. It applies to investments, business, personal growth, life decisions. But staying with training for now. Even if you use spreadsheets to organize, apps, AI tools, coaches, or personal trainers, in the end, you are the one who decide. You decide whether to train, how you train, how hard you push, when you rest, when you adapt. Responsibility always comes back to you, and that builds autonomy. Let me give you a concrete example from my own routine. Over time, I integrated strength training directly into my martial arts training. I didn't want traditional bodybuilding. I wanted functional training. So I structured my week like this: push-up days, pull-up days, leg focus days, handstand push-up days, deadlift days. All integrated into striking movement and conditioning. But here's where autonomy matters. I had to negotiate with myself. For example, if I train clinch work, which involves constant pulling and grappling, that's not the day to do pull-ups. Both stress the same movement pattern. If I stack them, my performance collapses. So I separate the stimuli. On heavy boxing days, thousands of punches, I pair that with leg work. No kicking that day. No explosive lower body strikes. And why? Why is that? Because I understand my body. And that understanding only comes when you take responsibility for the system. Training alone removes excuses. There is no one to impress, no one to blame, no one to follow. It forces clarity, it forces ownership. And over time, it builds a deep sense of self-trust. You start to know what works, what doesn't, when to push, when to hold back. That kind of autonomy spills into everything else in your life. You stop needing constant validation. You become more centered, more stable, more reliable, especially to yourself. So, does training when no one is watching change anything? Yes, changes a lot. Your relationship with commitment, your sense of integrity, your autonomy, your inner discipline. It's not better than training with others. It's not worse. It's different. And that difference shapes who you become. Thank you for you all for watching. Tell me in the comments, what changed for you when you train alone? See you in the next video, my friends.